This podcast was produced on the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kaelan Nation.
Welcome to Australia.
Aussie.
This is kind of tragic.
Someone who is such a connoisseur of reality television.
The content is hideous.
So sorry about this. Oh my God.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you, Rachel?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good.
I like this new setup.
Yeah, we're on the couch now.
It's really chill.
We're doing chill vibes.
I've got a huge glass of whiskey. No,
Yeah.
It's iced tea.
It is iced tea. It's Thai iced tea.
For the White Lotus.
Yes. In celebration of the White Lotus season 3, which just finished. What did you think?
Look, I don't think it's that controversial, but I really liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I just think that a lot of people...
Correct.
Yeah, I just think that people, I don't know, it just really went wild, like buck wild with theories this season.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but then people were like, it's so slow, it's so boring. And I'm like, do you know the other seasons too are quite slow, but
They
also
were.
shorter, to be fair.
Oh, were they shorter?
Yeah, like season 1 was 6 episodes. Season 1 and 2, or 6 and then 7 episodes, and this was 8 episodes.
8 was perfect.
I thought
Any
so too.
more, if it was 10, I probably would have agreed with those people saying it was
Yeah.
slow, but they wrapped it up perfectly.
Yeah.
I actually think it was one of the better finales.
Same.
Because usually by the end you kind of get the gist of what's happening. But this one I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he really just was like, bloodbath, let's just chuck it all out. And I don't know, I just found he did the things that you weren't expecting him to do. So even the theories and thoughts of, there's always an accidental death.
Uh-huh.
Monkey
theory.
Technically there was an accidental death, but he just came back to life, like Jesus Christ. So
Adam called it with the blender.
I knew that too.
See, I didn't. Ep 1 or whenever at the start, Adam was like, oh, that blender is featuring quite heavily.
That's what I said.
Going to kill someone. And I was like, how?
I think I only mentioned out loud. I think maybe I mentioned it, but
Yeah.
I was like, they just really put a lot of visual on that blender. This bloody family in the blender.
But I mean, it didn't actually.
It didn't,
anyone, but it kind of almost did.
Well, it did. It didn't. I think he died.
He
and then
died. He saw 4 monks.
and then came back to life again. But that was in there, and then it was just like, let's go left turn and kill everybody in a way that seemed kind of off brand. But it was, I don't know. I just thought it was wrapped up nicely, and like right when you had like those moments of Belinda, for example, I was like, girl, get your bag. You did it.
That fucking money.
So excited.
Yes.
And then the moment she said that to Pornchai, and then like the saddest look as he was waving but smiling, I was like,
when she said, my circumstances have changed, I was like, bitch, I love you.
I was like, you're just like them. It was just like elation to devastation, where I was like, wow, money does change people.
2025 is my circumstances have changed
My
era.
circumstances. It's and anything that Parker Posey said the whole season.
Yeah, great.
Just a queen, everything. The face she gave because I actually loved like Piper's wrap up too.
Oh, see, I thought she was
Boring?
faking. Well, yep, that. But no, when she said, oh, actually, I realized I'm a rich bitch and that's me for life, baby. I was like, she's faking. That's what her mum wants to hear. And then she's actually going to run off with the cult. That's what I thought. And then I was like, oh, no, that was sincere.
I loved that because you were like, I don't believe you. You're really giving that. I'm the one that that understands the world and understands culture in my family. She's
having her Ishka like mystic phase, like she wants to like wear her like elephant pants and like do all that. She's like a vegan for like a week.
And like really is like, I can do this for a year because your rich family will pay for it. Like everyone else would have.
It's such a like teenage. I mean, she's probably older than that, but
I think she's like 20.
Yeah,
she's drinking.
It's a young girl thing that we all go through. I went through that when I was a young girl.
A young privileged girl especially. Like, let's see how the quote-unquote other half lives.
100%. It's like you're experimenting and you're like, oh, I've just realised that there's this alternative and I'm going to run away from, especially if your parents are like religious.
Yeah. And religious and then just you've never had to worry about anything. But I loved that arc for her because you just knew that it was something was not right. And then Parker Posey's face. Another meme-worthy face of her.
So good.
Just understand, like so excited. And, I saw a great tweet where somebody was like, if I send this photo of her face to you, it means that I'm right. And I was like,
I saw
it's
that.
so
that one.
good.
And she's like,
And she's like, yeah.
What
I
about
thought-
our three girlies?
Love, obsessed.
I'm so glad that I fucking loved
Obsessed.
their ending because
Me too.
I thought they were going to be this like exaggerated housewives inspired characters and that was going to end in tragedy and they were never going to be friends again and they were never going to speak to each other again. And the way that it ended, I was like, oh my God, like it actually made me teary. I was like, these are my girls.
And I just think that like that was easy to
Yeah.
do from episode 1. I was even like, I can't wait to see these bitches blow up. Like, great.
These
And they did
white
have
women,
these like
they had their
they
moment.
had their huge conflict and you loved it. But I loved the ending. It was so realistic. As a woman, I was like, the way that he's written this very complex, deep female friendship of like friends that have been that close since high school. I was like, you've done a great job. And yeah, again, was kind of unexpected, but was like lovely. I just thought, and also like, I love Carrie Coon. I mean, I loved all three of them, but I love Carrie Coon.
Me too.
And they all just played their part perfectly. Carrie Coon's speech at the table, her little monologue, I was like,
it was great. I thought it was a great wrap up. I'm excited for another season.
Rick deserved to die.
Yeah.
Chelsea did not. R.I.P. my sweet angel,
but also
it was perfect though.
Unfortunately, she
the symbol of hope had
messed
to die.
around with the wrong guy. His whole storyline, I've got to say, is probably the one I was a little least interested in.
I think that I wasn't. I just think it was the most obvious, right?
Totally.
Yeah, you're not supposed. It wasn't supposed to be a surprise. I don't think that was his dad. Everyone thought about it. I don't think Mike White was trying to make that a surprise.
We've all seen Star Wars. I liked the Sitala content. She was
she was
stunning.
fab.
And
She
I
was
loved
fab.
the throwback video.
Oh, I
that
loved
whole scene.
this.
And I loved Old Mate with the lady boys. That was great.
Sam Rockwell. That
was like Emmy Wen.
perfect. Everything about that, except, and then another reason that Rick was fucking dog shit was just his friend saying, "I'm 8 months sober," and then
Let
just
your
going,
friend relapse.
"Yeah, let's just have some whiskey. Are you sure you're good?" I'm like, mate.
Cut to him in the hotel.
But you know, him running in just his underwear through the
Commando
hotel hallway.
rolling down the hallway.
I
I'm
was
like,
like,
we've
right.
been there. So good. Yeah, I'm excited. And as one door closes, another opens. Handmaid's Tale. Do you fuck with Handmaid's Tale?
I did fuck with it until I don't know. I think the last episode we watched was the end of whatever season where they
5,
kill
the last one. Oh,
No.
yeah, where they kill old
the
mate.
commander.
Yeah.
Is that the end of the last season?
No, I think that was the end of the one before.
Yeah, I think, and I
Loved that.
didn't realize that I knew it would continue on, but
Yeah.
then kind of missed it because there's so much content.
A lot of people missed season 5, and
Yeah.
it was like, incredible.
Was it? Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I should go because
Pick
the
it back
ending of
up.
that. Also, because I think my brain said, "Oh,
Yeah.
I missed that," but that was such a good ending. Watching them all tear him to shreds in the woods, that I'm like, "That's fine. That works for me."
There's a really good, I shared it on the Cringe Instagram account. There's a really good SBS podcast called Eyes on Gilead. It's all women talking about the show, recapping it really well. And they've done like a catch you up episode. It only goes for like, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes. And
Great.
they take you through all the seasons.
Oh, that's
so
really
if you
good.
want to just jump straight into 6, the one that's on now, and it's the final one.
Yeah,
So that's exciting.
I've been seeing ads for it and
Yeah.
going, "Oh,
It's because it's too hard basket. Because I think they had 3 years off even, and that's
is that
I've
why?"
forgotten everything. Like
Yes.
Severance, they had 2 years off.
Oh, that was already long
I'd
enough.
already forgotten everything.
Yeah,
This
we're
one, I'm like,
rewatching season 1 because
Yeah,
I
I
was
had
like, "There's
to.
no way I will remember."
yeah. So this one, I'm like, okay, it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you, but it's so good that
Yeah.
we can just catch up now with recaps because I can't.
Yes.
I'm not watching it again, especially not the trauma that is.
No,
this
see, I
show.
wouldn't watch it. I would like a recap of the 1 to 4 then.
Yeah.
And I would go back and watch season
Yeah.
5. But I think just in that time frame, so many other things came out.
Mm.
So it just got lost. And then I did see a trailer the other day and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this looks dark and great. And a guy that I assumed would have been dead by now.
Oh.
The old guy with gloves.
Yeah.
Who I love. Bradley Whitford.
I love his character.
Yeah, me too.
Because he's like sinister and camp, but
Yeah.
like, is he good? Is he bad? Who knows?
Yeah.
Love it.
Glad to hear he's still in there.
I think so. I don't want to spoil
Well,
it.
he was in the trailer.
Yeah.
I
No,
assume so.
I just was being like silly. I watched the first episode of season 6 last night, and I won't spoil anything except that I cried quite a lot.
I cried a lot in that show in general, I think.
It's a lot.
But
good.
Elizabeth
And then
Moss.
at the very end, it's like directed by Elizabeth Moss, and I was like,
Oh.
yes, bitch.
Yes,
And she was on
I love
Watch
her.
What Happens Live this
Even
week
for a
with Sutton.
Scientologist. Love her.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing I always
It's so
forget about
strange.
that.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, girl.
Because her vibe is so not that.
It's just money in LA, right?
Yeah. But she's
Even
a great
though
actress and
she's
a great
fucking
director.
stunning.
Mm.
Before we get into Australian Survivor this week, and boy, what a strange week to talk about.
Yeah.
I do need to plug my live show because it is next week.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So grab your tickies. It's your last chance to come along to my live show. I've got Zelda Moon doing a performance.
Oh, awesome.
Then I've got a lovely conversation with Jean Litzer on Drag Race.
Oh, awesome.
Is Drag Race dead? Come and find out. And then Ash Flanders and I will be recapping part 3 of Maths, which is now finished. So we'll be closing a chapter on Maths. And we'll also be doing the last week of Australian Survivor, which is next week. So if you want to know, if you can't be bothered waiting for the episode to drop and you want to know our thoughts on next week's Aussie Survivor, get a ticket and come along.
Tell me when, where, what's happening.
It's Good Friday, April 18th at the Railway in North Fitzroy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, the one on Park Street?
Nicholson. Yeah,
Like
near
Park
Park.
Street?
Yeah, right there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Get your tickies, babes.
Get your tickies and we'll see you there. All right. Should we just... There's an elephant in the room. and look, normally I don't do speculation and tinfoil hats too much on this pod, but Channel 10 has forced my hand.
The public have done what they've needed to do. Like, this is where I'm deep in a Reddit
hole.
to
Okay, good.
work
So
things out.
we've read the same stuff. And so if you don't know what we're talking about, obviously Morgan left the show and
technically was voted out.
Yeah, technically was voted out, but after she got voted out, left the show. She didn't want to remain on the jury. And it begs the question, why? And then we also had Mr. Ben leave the show much earlier in the season after kind of getting a bit of a sherry pie at it. So we were already joking about like, oh, what did he do? And now it's like, oh, what did he do? And it's like, could they not have just
addressed anything?
Addressed it. And this is so Australian television, isn't it? 'Cause
it's a nightmare. And I think that it is such a... I mean, Australian media in general, but specifically, but Channel 10's attack to their approach rather to anything remotely controversial.
Yeah.
The other side of it, though, is I do wonder, just on my little Reddit findings.
Yeah.
I think a large part of it is probably that, but there is also a small part of me that wonders how much of it potentially is coming from Morgan herself.
Okay.
You know, it was filmed a long time ago. She's not addressed anything.
True.
I just wonder if she also...
Do you think she preferred it to be not made into a big deal?
Potentially.
Yeah,
like it just brings up a whole conversation that any person of colour has always had to hold.
Exactly. And then she's got to fucking explain it to everyone and educate everyone
and
about
be the
what's
one
not
that,
okay.
like, I have to post this. Like, and I don't think that that's necessarily the full story, but that could be a part of it, I think, though, where it's just like, just don't show me a lot. I'll have my own story to tell when I want to tell it. I don't want you to tell it for me. I'm not happy with the way you maybe dealt with things. Or,
I hope she does get to tell it if she chooses to at some point. But also, it just annoys me because I feel like that guy got off like...
That's what I don't like.
Because if he just left and we never heard from him again, I'd be like, sure. But did you see his post?
No.
After he left, he posted being like, I was unwell.
Oh, and I think I just read this on Reddit.
Yeah, or someone did. I don't know. There was speculation out there that he was unwell. So I'm like...
Oh, that he like tore he had a torn calf muscle or something maybe.
Which I'm like, but I've seen this show. And when that happens, there's a medic, there's a whole thing.
There's a go back to camp and say goodbye. It's a whole, emotional thing that they try to pull.
So I don't know. I feel like they're kind of protecting him a bit. Which I get. There's some like crazy people out there that are going to like, you know... come for him, but I'm like, is that so bad?
Yeah, to me, I'm just like, you were the one that allegedly did this behavior, had this, said these things. Like, I was more on the train of the racism.
Yes.
I know there was a big thing about sexual assault, and I was like, whoa, that seems...
Oh, I didn't quite get that far in my deep dive.
No, that was like the initial...
Yeah.
Shortly after he left, but when Morgan was still in the game. Oh. Because people were like, they don't follow each other, all this sort of stuff.
Okay.
And then I was like, that seems like a huge jump.
Yes.
But I don't know. I just think that the racism thing is like he did it to himself. Like if that is what happened, then I'm sorry, but why protect it? Like you said it. I don't really care if you get a onslaught of people. Because hating you.
Remember Rogue Ruben?
Rogue
Ruben on whatever season that was. It was with Nina, Sandra's daughter.
Oh yeah.
And she said, "I'm more African American than you."
Exactly.
And they edited that into the show, which I loved because it just made this woman look so stupid because she was.
Nightmare.
And then poor Nina had to she was so good about it.
She took it so well.
She listened to this idiot and just shut her mouth. Mm-hmm. And then she's talked about that later on. On her own channels and stuff, and it's hilarious. She's just I wanted to fucking slap that.
And
bitch.
everyone on social media, Twitter and everything, was on her. Loved it, and they were like, "This is crazy." And to be fair, well, not to be fair, but I did see the flip side of that on social media, where people were like, Channel 10 shouldn't have aired that, or that shouldn't have made that. And
so maybe that's why after that experience, Channel 10 were like, let's just not touch anything controversial. This is a show about winning $500,000, and I'm like, no, it's also about social politics.
I think the social politics is interesting.
Chuck it in there. Also, it's like, why are we so afraid of having this conversation? Let's just fucking have it. Especially, but to do that, everyone has to, listen.
Yes.
And we need to be transparent. We can't have some of the info and not all of it.
Exactly. And it's already, and I get it's already an issue from seasons past about the lack of diversity in Australian Survivor. So it just, all those things together make it even more icky. But I just think, the protection of him in any way, and also if it's for some kind of, I don't know, defamation thing is what I sort of saw, is that he could sue, yada yada.
I reckon you're right. They just don't want to touch any of it. But it sucks because even right now, I feel so awkward having this conversation because we don't know. So it's 100%. I don't want to point finger at 10 and be like, you fucking dealt with this, because I don't actually know.
Yeah. My thought is, if it's something, regardless of what we're on, well, not regardless, but potentially between the two of them, what Channel 10 maybe protecting themselves from a defamation. My brain is cool, I'm sure you have enough money. It's not, your station's not going to cease to exist if you're brought into a lawsuit for defamation from this man. So just wear the cost.
Totally.
But, that is only if there's, a story there, a situation that's happened. But either way, I feel bad for Morgan.
Me too. And I also, because have you been watching The Jury Villa? It's my new favourite show.
I generally watch it all the time, but I did go to watch hers and then notice obviously that it wasn't there.
So she didn't have one, and I was like, no.
Because I didn't have the exit thing.
Yeah, she didn't even do that. So she literally must have been like, nah,
I'm done now that I'm off. Yeah.
And you could kind of sense she wasn't having a good time. Even when AJ was sort of fucking with her last week and she was like, whatever, dude, I can tell you're not going to work with me. See ya. I was like, oh, she's kind of checked out a bit.
She has, but I also found that interesting that they sort of put that in then because in my mind, if she was checked out early, I don't know, it was it just made her look bad, I think, because prior to that, she wasn't really in it very much, and she's one of those who are you? What's your personality?
They purpled her so hard, and I mean, she also wasn't a strong strategic player though. She wasn't interested in doing big moves and stuff.
Sure.
Let's be honest.
We don't think. I don't know.
Well, yeah. But that's, imagine there's this other cut of her puppeteering AJ from behind the scenes.
Yeah, or her and Kate making plans.
I think her and Kate were just having a fun time. And it's evident from Kate's Jury Villa. She's just this was cute.
Oh, okay. I actually really want to watch Kate's Jury Villa.
Kate's Jury Villa's great.
She's a diva obsessed.
She also opens up about her OCD and anxiety.
Oh, I saw that on her Instagram.
So nice.
And I love that she slut dropped when she left. That was... I mean, I know we'll get to that, but I was I just stood up, gave a standing ovation.
I was like, wow. Do you know, because you're an F-Boy Island girly.
Oh my God,
she is one half of the DJ duo with that other girl.
Ali? No, Ali was
no,
season 2.
Whatever.
Sophie?
Yeah, Sophie, the
one
Kiwi.
Yes.
Who
I realized this and I tried to tell somebody and they were just like, I don't know. And I was like, this is really deep, dumb bitch shit that I know. And I was like, why does no one understand? And yes, you've got me.
It's like every hot blonde girl that DJs has to be.
DJ, dancer, performer.
They need to be in like a duo.
And I think she did pretty well. Like, even though she wasn't, you know, this crazy mastermind, like she kind of understood the strategy of the game. Is she also just didn't want to leave certain things like her BFF off anything, which sure, that's the way you want to play. I think she was just like, oh no, I won't be doing anything while Morgan's still here.
True, except a gorgeous slut drop, which I loved as it's like the Miss Vanjie of it all. Like I've got my last minute of camera time and I'm gonna milk it.
And she's like, you know what? No one has done on 10 seasons, whatever it is done a slut drop as if this is a stripper pop.
Do you reckon Myles was like, damn, I was gonna do that?
The only other person that I think thought that would have been Myles. Like watching him pole dance on it a tree? Or the flag.
There's been a few polls in challenges and everyone's always like, hey, Myles.
Yeah, as if you
Just
would
waiting for you. Anyway.
But yeah, I feel bad for Morgan either way because I think she got a shitty edit.
She clearly had a shit time no matter what happened. So we're sorry for that, Morgan.
Exactly. And I understand you just being like, keep me to the bare minimum in this show because I don't want to relive it. But then to kind of in those last 2 episodes make it seem like she was like...
Yeah. And stop
I don't want to talk to
casting
me.
douchebag bogans, please. Like, sure, if they're like fun and like not racist, great.
Yeah.
But like, if they're racist, just don't put them on.
Or just
it's not that hard.
Call it out and get them. Like, also you can tell because apparently, okay, this is getting really deep.
No, but I think I know where you're going.
About his followers?
Yes.
Okay, I only just read this, but apparently Ben follows Trump, Pauline Hanson. Like, you have people, I know you have people that go through their social media, surely. And in this climate, you can't be going, let's put a Trumpy on there. Fuck no. Are you kidding?
Maybe they thought it would be fun and like personalities will clash, but it's like, no, someone's just going to feel legit victimized and shit.
And I feel like make personalities clash because of, gameplay or age even, that kind of thing. I feel like specifically that like quite right wing is like not just making people clash because there is a very high chance that right-wing person is going to say some fucked up shit.
With these tariffs.
With these tariffs.
Not
they
the
follow
tariffs.
Trump and Pauline Hanson. You have to be like, I'm sorry, this can't.
I was in a meeting this morning at like 9 a.m. and someone as light fodder chat before the meeting was like, so what about those tariffs? And I went, girl, not the tariffs at 9 a.m.
Not a meeting at 9 a.m. Firstly, that's
true.
No meetings at 9:30 as early.
But it was like, no. How's your night?
It's going to be 27 today. Lovely.
For the first time in my life, I would have preferred that.
Yeah.
But hey, these tariffs, I was like, fuck.
I haven't even had.
I haven't had a coffee. I'm staring at you on Zoom. Anyway. Let's get into Sunday night's episode, which was called House of Cards, because your House of Cards is about to topple. That's all you've got.
That's all you got is a House of Cards. Your deck of cards.
Your deck of cards is about to topple.
Queen Gina.
So good.
Your celebrant. I always think of that.
Yes. Myles says the postgraduates are rock solid, but also, if it breaks...
Yeah.
It'll probably be me that breaks it. I love Myles.
Me too. I've liked him pretty much from the start as well. I think he got a bit of a bad...
He's the only likable game player because AJ's playing the game, but AJ is not likable.
Don't get me started. I mean, we'll get into AJ, I'm sure, but Myles is having fun. His chaos is like not coming across as malicious or anything like that or mean or arrogant. It's just
weird.
He's just kooky dude and love that.
Exactly. AJ and Zara chat and he's like, AJ's paranoid. If he doesn't win the challenge, he's out.
AJ?
We're all
Kaelan.
thinking no, this was AJ, I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah, sorry, Kaelan. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like,
my
AJ's
God.
not going to win the challenge.
AJ can't even, like, they get to the challenge and AJ's just like, all right.
I think maybe you said last week or something, you just love his energy of not caring. And that is, I would say, the I would care in
Puppy
challenges
dog.
if I was ever on it, but I do love that he's just committed to the energy of like, I won't be winning any challenges in this game.
I
was
think
like,
it's a move. I think he's going to get to the final, if he does, and his whole speech is going to be like, you guys didn't even know that every challenge I threw,
Oh,
even the
gosh.
individual ones, and they're all going to be like, cool story.
okay, well, maybe you should. Ugh. Anyway.
But no, you're right. They're all gunning for Kaelan, clearly, because this guy, fucking hell,
So hot.
so hot. That rig.
Just
Oof.
everything.
And the little, he's so cute.
And
So
it's
little good boy.
absolutely blinding my
Mm.
Survivor like experience, because at the end of the day, he shouldn't, like, if he loses, you should vote him out
Yeah.
in a way. But also, I do see the strategy of, oh, I could beat him at the end. But my brain is like, I mean, you haven't been particularly.
If it's a final two, though, and it's him and AJ, like, if I'm on that jury, I'm voting for Puppy Dog.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he's got a chance.
He's like, his strategy hasn't been so strong like AJ, but he has had strategy. Like, he could have and probably should have, as he's showing.
His
been
strategy
voted
was
off
be a
well,
cutie.
be a cutie, middle ground, look
It's
a
a
bit,
strategy.
seem a bit dumb, and just helping everybody out, and like then he just wins 6 individual
Genius.
immunities. Like, that's incredible.
I'm more impressed by that than AJ, like, messily, like,
Scrambling.
calling the shots, even though he's, like, kind of not. I don't know.
Yeah, fair. But so I get that being like, you could just vote him out as soon
Mm.
as he doesn't win. But my brain's like, don't do it. He's nice to look at.
Yeah. Morgan and Myles chat. Maybe we want similar things. Morgan asks about Kaelan and what happens if he doesn't win the next immunity. So it's really just all eyes on Kaelan, and then we'll decide what happens. Myles also confirms this idea with Zara. How do you feel about Zara? The PTA.
Look, I'll say I'm obsessed with the fact that she's not president, but she's vice president
That
of
is-
the PTA.
That is great.
I am obsessed with that. But
It's a good detail.
beyond that, I don't have strong thoughts. My only thought right now is she does do what I think are some dumb moves that are not bold.
She's got good poker face, because I never know what's going to happen. Because people are always trying to pull her one way or another, and her face is always just like,
That's true.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I have no idea. That's the PTA.
And like, there's
for
been
ya.
2 votes. The 2 votes I feel like this week, I thought that she could do something, and then she
Yeah.
didn't. And
No,
I'm
is
like,
she
well,
gonna
this
flip?
is dumb.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Her vibe is that if I was there,
Yeah.
I would take her to the end, because she's got people on the jury, I guess. But I don't know. She's just neither here nor there for me.
Yeah. Fair. I think so.
She's just kind of there, I
She's
guess.
there. At the immunity challenge, it's balls. And
Oh, yeah.
if Kaelan wins this one, he's going to break a record. And I love he's like, yeah, everyone, so if you want me to break the record, you better just chill.
Yeah. Oh, you better just let me win. my dumb bitch ass would be like, okay.
Same. I'd be
Whatever
like,
you say.
whatever you want, Kaelan.
Yeah.
And then he bloody does it. What a sexy little fish boy. And then he's all like,
The last
yeah.
part of that challenge, pushing that up the thing, would have been actually so hard.
All of it.
so
The challenges have been real good this season.
Yeah, they've mixed it up, and it's not been your standard.
Yeah.
Just this, and this.
Yeah. And then they act all excited, but I'm like, girl. Then he says he's a challenge enthusiast
Oh, yeah.
rather than a challenge,
Challenge
beast.
beast.
And I was like,
Oh, baby girl.
baby girl. Back at camp, AJ suspects Myles wants to take Morgan to the end. So wants to take her out. And I was like, okay.
Which, sure.
Because Myles is thinking 100 like steps ahead.
Oh, absolutely.
100 different ideas a minute. And it is, it would be kind of annoying to be around.
It would, but also, I don't know how much he would be, besides AJ, who also thinks that way, how much he would be talking all those little things to people. You just know that it's happening in his brain. But also at this point, you should be. Like, even Zara, to be fair, like, she's been like, this is my path to the end. And I'm like, I mean, babe, you're not going to win. But okay. Imagine she... Anyway.
If Zara wins, I will actually love it.
I don't
But
know
I'll also
how
be
I would
like,
feel.
editors, what story did you just tell?
she's not getting that like winner's edit, is she? She's getting a potential final 3 though.
I think it's Kaelan or Myles. They're the only people getting winner edit. If it's AJ, I will be really shocked because they've not done anything to make us like him. In fact, they've actively trolled him.
Have they? Or is that just his personality?
Do you really think they've like tried to make us like him? They would have cut out all that awkward Kate stuff, I reckon. I think they exactly. I think they put that in because they want us to be like, well, this guy's a bit of a creep.
I think maybe I don't know. I think you're right, but they could also have been like, people might find this awkward and endearing. Like, I didn't. Because Kate's reaction was pretty chill.
You're right. There are some AJ stands out there. Every now and then I'll have a guest on the pod. They're like, AJ's great. And I'm like,
it couldn't be me. But, he's got this, like, level of, if there's anything I hate more than just a straight up arrogant kind of white man that
a poker player.
That's not fun about it. That's not kind of creating a character. Like, I'm like, oh, that's just you, unfortunately.
Kaelan and Zara want Kate, but AJ still has a stiffy for her, so he wants Morgan out. He does. Like, he acts like he's got this strategy. He's like, oh, actually, I want to take out Morgan first. I'm like, oh, how convenient, because you think Kate's got beautiful eyes.
Yeah. You're like,
come on.
It's, and you try so hard to be like, exactly, that's why he wants Kate out or whatever. And I'm like, well, I think everyone sees that relationship. Like, Zara wasn't stupid then.
Yeah. AJ tells Kate this plan and she cries. I was like, bless. She's like, I can't do it.
Oh,
I can't vote out Morgan. I'm not going to do it. It was beautiful television.
It was great. But also that's where you were like, when she sort of said, oh, I'm surprised I got this far. I was like, with that kind of game, I mean, you have to have your strong alliance, but
And his full just like lack of empathy. Like, he's like Chat GPT brain kicks in. He's just like, yep. Okay. It was like someone standing next to a random crying, being like, I don't know what to do.
Didn't know what to do. That was so uncomfortable.
Yeah. He's like, we'll do whatever you're comfortable with. But if you want to stay in the game, you're going to have to vote more.
But like, whatever makes you comfortable, bye.
Yeah, see ya. It's like, it's going to leave that there with you.
Oh, gosh.
Imagine being in this game and like, you're like a Kate or a Morgan and just like people just kind of come up to you and be like, this is what you have to do. That would like, I would hate that.
Same. And I just feel like,
I'd be like, no,
that's okay earlier in the game.
Yeah.
And
when there's 100 people left.
And there's that's why Kaelan's strategy and other people were just like, yeah. Cause you don't want to be the one making plans. You want to kind of be involved, but like not really. Yeah. Cause you don't want that target on your back, but like to be at final 6, are they? Final 7? 6?
There's 5 left now.
5
isn't there?
now.
Oh, at this point there's 6.
Yeah, so
then
to be a final 6 and
5.
still having people being like, this is what we're doing and this is what you're doing. You'd be like, okay,
like, if you're a yes girl at this point, your chances aren't looking good.
Yeah, or it is because they could take you all the way to the end.
But then your CV is just like non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
AJ tries to turn Kaelan against Myles, but he's kind of like, I do like the boys all kind of imploding on each other. This is good. This is like an interesting dynamic.
Yes.
But it's so dodge. I'm like, how does anyone listen to this guy? Also, the double standard here is crazy. Like, AJ's gone and done that behind Myles's back, but then later on when he finds out that Myles is doing it against him, he like loses it. I'm like, bitch.
It's his ego is so. You can tell, like,
it.
He's like, I'm running everything, all roads lead back to me. Like, that to me is what makes me, like, just truly not like him, because you just have such a big ego that you think that that is true. And therefore the way he thinks that Myles is like, Myles is the only person that might be able to be, I'm like, absolutely he would be. I would vote for Myles over AJ if I was on the jury. Yeah. Like, the dude was on the bottom for fucking just so long.
He served looks. He served fashions.
He's just been...
He's been a fun time. He
chaos.
Didn't skis on anyone inappropriately.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. I just think that AJ's double standards are just so egocentric, and it's...
That line he says this week where he's like, I'm just never getting votes and I'm never going home. I was like, oh...
Yeah.
Excuse you.
Never getting votes on the jury either.
Yeah,
Make it to the end. Is that what you mean?
Oh my God. Myles tells Kate he's bummed Kaelan won immunity again. I'm like, yeah, we know. And Kate's still like, I'm not voting Morgan. I can't do it. She's my girl. Can't do it. So the girls finally mobilize, or like kinda. I was excited at this point. I was like, they're gonna do it. I was like, they're doing something. It's day 105 and they're like, let's do a plan. They're like, there's two of us. They kind of start to realize like, oh, there's two of us. Zara's there. If we get her on,
get her to flip some shit.
They're like, let's get Myles out. They think Zara won't, but then they're going to try Kaelan because they've heard that he wants to make a big move for resume's sake.
And that he's really anxious about if he loses an immunity, which he should be.
Kate tells Kaelan that Myles is after him and that they have to get rid of him now, which was clever because that is a good way to mobilise someone to join you.
Especially Kaelan, who was already like...
And Kaelan's got that old school Aussie Survivor thing of like loyalty. He's like, I can get to the end being a good guy, which is like, okay.
Yeah, I don't like any... Or people being like, it's integrity that I need and things.
Mateship.
Like, okay, it's also a game. Like, you can be a fucking...
Have fun.
Yeah.
You're
like, don't be an asshole.
You're going to giggle at Druvilla afterwards. Like, come on. But yeah, Kate tells Kaelan that Myles is after him. So it's kind of like game on moles. Clever. He does buy it. And I mean, it is true.
Yeah.
But AJ wants him out. Like, they all want him out. It's not specific to Myles. Yeah. But clever to package it in that way to get him.
Oh, absolutely.
To flip.
But, you know.
Yeah. At Tribal, Paulie stuns in Victoria Beckham's little Gucci dress.
All of them entering. Like, I just love the direction that's like, you must be so pissed off regardless of what your feelings are.
I think it's them. I think production were like, what are you guys doing? And they were
I
like,
feel like it's extra this season though, right?
Yeah, but
I feel like sometimes
I think they came up with it. Like, do you know what it's
Yeah.
giving? It's giving like school camp, and the girls are like, let's come up with a dance routine.
perform it at the talent show.
Yeah, and like, I've got some scrunchies. Let's all do crazy hairdos and crazy makeup, and we'll do a dance.
And you can't smile because we're sexy or something like that.
It's giving that. They're bored at Druvilla just being like, let's come up with a fun thing. Like,
and I feel like it's a very US Survivor thing to walk in sort of straight-faced,
a bit
serious,
slutty, a bit angry.
Whereas in the past, Australian Survivor has been really like, because they come in and everyone's always like, woo! So they come in and they're like normally smiling. So and so it seems really... I feel like he went there and was like, you know what?
He's like, girls, I'm
Stone
pissed.
faces. I want looks of up and down, and then you know, it's kind of hard to.
This is why we need Sydney guys on every reality show.
Yeah, true.
To bring the chaos.
What
were your thoughts when JLP said on day 105? And tonight's a little bit different. I was like, girl, I actually paused it and screamed. I thought it was on a limb.
It's because there was so much longer of the episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's this fucking nonsense happening now?
He's like, we're starting again with 3 tribes. No, but then straight away he knows that we're all screaming at home and he goes, settle down. Someone is going home. And I was like, oh, thank
God.
fuck.
Yeah, I'm glad he did that too.
Send people home. And then he's like, but there'll be another chance for immunity. So I'm like, okay, so it's literally just another immunity challenge.
Which I was like, okay, that's fine in the end because that could have shaken something up, I guess. But yeah, when he first said that, and I had been thinking prior to that there hadn't been as many of those little meddlings this season.
Yeah,
I feel like
they
every
try
other
and pull it back.
I think because they see online that every other tribal being like, this is different. There's no vote. Like, there was still a few of them, but I think they pulled that back. So when they started to do that, I was like, oh no, this is why they've been holding it back. They're doing something fucking dumb.
Yeah.
But
it was fine. It actually wasn't that much drama.
Yeah.
I almost thought it could have been more disruptive. I don't know how, but another immunity, great, whatever. And with Kaelan always winning, it was actually a clever thing to add. 'Cause it's like, let's give someone else
a chance to, yeah. And,
immunity.
you know, they were like, let's hopefully make
Yeah.
it, you know, probably a Kate or a Morgan, like thus making.
They even joked, they're like, maybe Kaelan's going to win 2 necklaces.
Yeah. yeah.
But she wasn't eligible. So the 5 vulnerable players then participate in another challenge, and it's the deck of cards that are about to topple.
The deck of cards.
Yes. And
That looked hard as hell. That
it
challenge.
did. It looked really annoying. These ones where it's just like you have to be really patient and like balance stuff. I would try it once and then be like, all right.
Oh, I just find it, that particular one, it's the balancing of like, because the cards itself would be hard. Like the other ones where you're stacking a tower, that's not as hard. That is just like balance. But this one is like, that's hard without the holding a thing and making sure it doesn't fall over nonsense.
Exactly. And DJ Kate
Takes it out. Diva.
Yeah, Diva. So good. AJ stoked because it's what he wants. He now gets to keep his pretty blue-eyed girl in the game.
Yeah, his little crush.
Exactly. Then some intense whispering begins between Zara and Kate. Kate is trying to get Zara to flip to Myles. Loved this. This is when Zara was giving full poker face. She's like, She was like, yep, cool. And then
she's like, I'm willing to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do that. It's like, that's not a yes.
It's not a yes, but I would be there being like, oh, that wasn't a no.
Wasn't
Yeah,
a
you're right. Her
no.
face is very like, I was like, did she mean that or not?
She was like, suits me. I was like, And then how good was this edit? They show us her vote and she just writes down an M.
Love.
The producers would have been like,
You just
how good.
know when there's something like that and they have the same letter that the producers froth of being able to be like, we can show the first letter unless it's like cursive
And a little
or something.
curl, yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, was that going to be an O or a Y?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So good. And then the votes are read and it's 2 Myles and 2 Morgan. But then more Morgans come in and she gone.
She's out.
And there's 0 fanfare. She
She's out.
literally just gets up and V-lines for the exit.
Mm.
She's on that next flight.
She's like,
Home.
see it. Or maybe in another hotel, according to the Reddit, but who knows?
Oh yeah. So she didn't want to stay at the villa with everyone.
Yeah, but I don't know if they can just send you straight home. So maybe they were
True.
just like, okay, you can go to
Yeah,
this hotel for a
probably
few
would've
nights
stayed
because they
somewhere
do a
else.
bit of a health thing, I'm guessing. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then sent it, potentially, according to Reddit, allegedly. But
Not good.
no.
But I mean, it's all alleged, but I'm inclined to believe it because we've been given nothing else.
And
go
something's
on.
gone on. It can't. There'd be nothing surely in a contract that's like, oh, I just didn't like the game. Can you just edit me out? Like there has to be a catalyst, I think,
Yeah.
as to why.
I hope the fans are being nice to her because I can imagine that if you literally did not know anything and you only were just looking at the show, nothing else,
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh, what a diva. Like I would think that.
Yeah,
I'd be
true.
I'd be like, what a bad sport. She's upset she didn't win
Yeah.
or whatever.
And she didn't put anything on her
She's
Instagram.
kicked the bucket, yeah,
Mm.
and she's just left. I don't know. I think she just didn't have a good experience because I know
Yeah.
I saw a few weeks ago King George tweeted saying, friend of the pod, King George,
Oh yes.
saying her and Kate were boring players, which I think, and you know, George is trying to be a little bit incendiary, a little
Yeah.
bit like exciting, like it's clickbait.
Yeah,
We get
yeah.
it, George, haha. But she snapped back. She was like, "Nah, I'm not letting this guy
Oh,
say
good
that."
on
She
her.
tweeted back at him being, or Insta or whatever,
Yeah.
back at him being like, "You have no idea what I went through," and that was when I was like, "Ooh,
Okay, yeah,
shit
it's
went
something,
down."
right? And also, you know, I get the clickbait
And he's not
thing.
to know. Like we don't know, so it's like,
True.
yeah,
It's just, yeah, I don't know. Wait, did he do that before she left?
yeah, like a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was when they were just kind of there being
Sure.
sitting ducks. Like, and I had the same opinion. I was like, she's
And
boring.
look, that's no different to, you know, what I would put
Yeah.
on Blue Sky. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
but I just
yeah.
thought you meant maybe that happened after she left, and I was like, okay, well, that's a bit much, George. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm always just like, what is this person doing?
And
in terms of their
he's always
gameplay.
just trying to stir.
But she's like pregnant.
stir shit. Oh, is she? Stunning. I love that for
Because
her.
I did obviously go on her, but she hadn't posted since like late March, and she's
Yeah.
not posted a single thing about Survivor. So
And look fair. I
yeah,
think it's one of those things that, unfortunately didn't work out.
and she
had a
she had
shit
a bad
time.
experience, but
Yeah.
at least she's hopefully home and just living her best
Yeah.
pregnant with twins
We
life.
wish you well.
Yeah,
Twins.
believe it's twins. Yeah,
Wow.
2. It's a lot.
Yeah, you're like...
One's
One's
enough.
enough.
One's great. Love one. Love one.
Love one.
Love one. But yeah, that I was like, let me go watch the Jury Villa. Let me find out a little bit more about potential. I think at that stage I was also just like, I want to find out about her gameplay a little bit more, like because we didn't find anything, or like if I go to the Jury Villa and it's just her being like, oh yeah, I would have been like, okay, that was just your. So when all that happened, that's when it really stirred it up. But I feel bad for her, but really glad that I guess
I like she didn't give them anything. She's like, nah. Because it's like,
yeah,
I would do the same. It's like, I'm not going to just...
I don't have to.
Continue to do this.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Episode 22 on Monday night. I've got to say, I'm loving just 2 a week. Can we just do that?
God.
2 is great.
It's so stressful
3's
early in the
too
season
much.
when it's 3.
It's
like,
so much TV.
especially when like White Lotus started, because
Maths
then I
was on,
couldn't
I
watch
was dying.
the Tuesday night because I'd watched the White Lotus on Monday, and then so then I'd be behind 2 episodes because I'd have to watch like Monday nights. It was just too much, too much. And yeah, I'm glad.
2 is fabulous.
2 is great actually, because
1 would leave us wanting more.
yeah, and there's 500 episodes. We'd be going for the whole
500
year.
days.
Yeah.
It's called Polarizing the Outcome, and it's the final 5. So that
close.
means it's the last time an idol can be played, which is kind of the theme of the episode.
Yeah.
So Zara is thinking about her best path, as is Myles.
She says.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of thinking.
Doing a lot of thinking of her best path and then ignoring it, but go off, Queen.
Exactly. And Myles pitches AJ should be next. And she was like, oh, I'm actually quite shocked at that. And at this point, I'm like, well, you only have 4 choices.
Literally.
Of someone to get rid of. So I don't think any pitch is shocking at this point. You should all be thinking about taking out everyone else except
literally,
yourself.
Literally. And if somebody else suggests someone who's a big threat, even better.
She like
You're
clutched
probably
her fake
thinking
pearls.
about it.
Yeah.
So just go, that sounds great. And then you can just kind of be on the periphery of it.
I've got to say, like, gameplay wise, first half of this game was so exciting. And then now I'm still loving all the characters and everything, but strategy wise, it has been a bit meh.
I think it's because there have been so many opportunities for something to flip the game a little bit, and it just hasn't progressed because the person's maybe chickened out or been like,
and the
it's not the
jury
time.
is
And I'm like,
stacked with all of the fun people.
oh, like Karen?
Karen's on the jury, Logan, Laura, Holly, like literally.
Although I was getting a bit over Laura at the end, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just to do with when we were talking about like the loyalty and the integrity or whatever. Not that she was saying that, but it was just very much like she was just starting to get a bit sourpuss when she was like, this person didn't want to vote the way I did. It's like,
she
okay.
fucked it for herself.
Which sucks because at the start I was like, love you, Queen. And then...
Oh, hang on. You talking about Logan?
No, Laura.
Oh, no, Laura. Okay. Oh, no, because
the
Logan...
witch.
Yeah, the witch. Yeah, good.
Like,
I thought so.
loved
No, because
what was
Logan
gonna
also did the whole, why is no one doing what I want thing, which I loved.
It was a bit different from her though, because I don't know, she was like that kind of from the start, and she was really like, was actually doing other people's plans and trying things, whereas Laura just was like, if anyone in an alliance, like I think Zara or people that would say, oh, you know, I don't want to do that. She was like, well, that just pisses me off and ruins my game. And I'm like, well, they're also trying to play a game, dude. Like,
but they were all the people I wanted to last.
They'll be
to
great
the
on the
end.
jury, but
they
like
will be great on the
Karen
jury.
and Logan, as I was always on the fence about Logan, but just found her super entertaining. Love Karen. Love Karen.
She's so funny.
I reckon she'll
put her on another
be invited.
season.
Yeah,
she will.
She'll be invited
with
back.
those confessionals and that side eye, honey. Put
And
her
just
on.
great strategy, pretty good physical. Like she was quite an all rounder.
She's a beast.
She's so. She's such a. And like I think that Logan, I was wasn't necessarily a fan. I didn't dislike her, but I found her personality so entertaining.
Yes,
and she is also somebody they would put onto another season, I think, because she just
she's
had
got like Shawnee vibes, like
love, and I
silly
love
girly, yeah. But that's who I was expecting and wanted on the actual like game side of things. I wanted Myles there. Myles is the one that I have been so excited about for so long. I'm so glad he's still there, and I'm obviously rooting for him to win now.
But a couple more of those other players, it would have also been great. I agree.
Yeah, it's a funny one, and I'm very much looking forward to next week finding out who it is. But back to, gosh, where were we? Myles pitching again to Kaelan. Oh no, now he's saying if AJ doesn't win immunity, we should send AJ home. So this is the big stab in the back moment that I'm like, again, it's not really stabbing in the back when there's 5 people left.
And
like, come on.
It would happen to you if you don't do it first.
Exactly.
Probably. So.
And you've also suggested the same thing for some time. Myles has been like on the bottom forever.
Yeah.
So I kind of think it's a bit rich to be pissed off, but
also,
whatever.
I just think that I don't know. I feel, and maybe this is because I've not been on it, but if you were voted out because of that kind of backstabbing nature, literally take it like the compliment that it is. Like, I couldn't beat you, but be like, I don't know. I, as a jury member, might be like, I respect that game. Like, obviously, I'm pissed off that you did it, but you know what? If you didn't do it to me, I would have done it to you, and well done, you did it first.
But he's even, because this is also, AJ tells us about 100 times in this episode that Kaelan is his ride or die. It's like, we get it. And he's not even into the idea of taking out Kaelan. Because I think he thinks that in the end, he's going to be there next to Kaelan, who's never going to win because he didn't do strategy. I don't know, dude. I think
you would get votes.
I think you'd get votes. I think you'd want to be next to Kate and Zara.
He definitely should be taking Zara. Yeah. Any of them
actually,
really
Kate's the jury really likes Kate, and they might just.
I actually thought that Kate would have. Maybe she wouldn't have won, but if she, well, I don't know.
Her
if
jury villa entrance, they go wild. They love her.
I also think the last remaining Brawn, she was another example of being on the, like, say she got to the final.
Yeah.
She would have only been there from the bottom the whole time, which is just, you play hardest when you needed to, which I would have been like, you get my vote for that. But AJ, you know, the plan to take out AJ, because AJ also constantly says this episode, you know, oh, Myles is not going to turn on me. Not once.
Yeah.
No, he's
which
not going to
I'm
turn
like,
on me.
that's dumb. He's thinking about every possible move except that. It's like, don't rule anything out. He's also worried that Myles is going to do some idol trickery, which is going
to save Kate.
To do something. He's like, Myles is going to do some silly move with his idol. And this was, am I correct in thinking that Myles didn't... Oh, no, Myles told AJ about this idol. No?
Only AJ knows,
Only AJ. But, like, everyone... It's a bad kept secret. Everyone knows.
Everyone's just like,
they're like, Myles
so
has
certain.
an idol.
Yeah.
Because he's always so sneaky, the jungle rat.
And also, why would you not have tried to flush it? But anyway, that's another story for another day.
True. I guess if you don't know...
If they don't know, but also this proves my point of, like, they really don't know how... Some of them, how intensely strategic. He just seems like a chaos player. So...
This is where AJ's on his condescending bullshit again. He's like, I'm never getting votes. I'm never going home. And he also says, I think Myles has played a much smaller version of my game, which I don't agree with.
I don't agree at all.
I was like, what are you talking about?
And I think that if you think that, arrogance aside, it's because Myles has done a lot more than you even know. So seeing those two at a final tribal with AJ, obviously probably going to have a good speech because he's very good at speaking and
working his ass off.
But I think that he absolutely is underestimating the way Myles would actually destroy him in a final tribal council.
And then this is the irony, like Kaelan and AJ are now discussing putting votes on Myles as an insurance policy. And I'm like, okay, so that's fine. That's fair game. But, like, God forbid your name be mentioned. I'm like, okay, honey.
So dumb.
Ride or die. Immunity challenge. It's more balancing things. I'm like, okay, we're really in a place of balance this week.
This one they walk through the squares?
For block.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like 5 blocks or 6 blocks.
It was like
12 blocks. And it was like very tall. And you had this kind of like fucked hook.
Yeah.
It looked tedious.
Just the way that you had to bend it, and then also not even just the like squares that you walked through. My little finger hands.
I'm surprised it wasn't another IKEA tie-in. Because it looked like a little Allen key.
Yeah, like using the
Flubenblaggen
key. That the unhooking that, and then also the the pole that you had to duck under is just another level of. Yeah. There was just so many elements of that it would have been really trying. I also kind of wish they would put at the bottom at the end of the challenge. Like, it just didn't. This is my curiosity. Like, how long it actually took.
I would like that.
If it just like, I know you're going to give me a fucking 3-minute cut. That's fine. But just be like, duration of challenge, like 2.5 hours.
I think they all are pretty long.
They must be.
These ones are so tedious because it's like someone's going to win and then, it's all toppled and I got to start again. It's like,
And it would take so long.
Really annoying to recap because I'm just like, not that I've spent any time on the challenges, let's be honest, but this one I was like, I kept writing down like, Morgan's in the lead, and then I was like, delete that. Zara's in the lead, delete that. But AJ again, no chance, sucks at this as well. No surprise.
No surprises there.
And then finally it is between Zara and Myles, but Myles cooks it on the 12th block, which is like,
the way he was so obviously pissed off.
Yeah.
The way I would have just walked into the fire, like on the 12th block. Are you kidding me? On the very
I would have gone up to JLP and just slapped him in the face.
I just would have walked straight past him and been like, don't.
Goodbye.
Into the forest.
It's
like, I can't, into the jungle. Like, honestly, the 12th, like, if it happens earlier, okay, sure. That last block.
I wouldn't do it again. I would not do it again. I wouldn't even pretend. I would
literally just go sit down. I'd be like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I won't be doing.
Grab
I won't be
a
participating.
stick.
Yeah. Give me some water. Medic, please.
I'd be like, sprained. I would fake an injury.
Yeah. Give me some ice.
My gay wrist is limp. And they'd be like, seems like it's always like that. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
How dare you?
Back at camp, Zara and Myles discuss plans to blindside AJ, and I was getting so hard for that. I was like, do it!
So excited. And the way it was happening, the editing, like, this is really the producers, well done to you for blindsiding me. But it was very like, then cutting back to AJ and AJ at camp being like, oh, Myles is not going to go for me. He's not going to go for me. And then cutting back to this plan. I was like, this is giving like it's going to happen.
I thought it was going to happen. They really teased us with that. Kaelan sets a rat trap because he's certain that Myles is coming to snatch his wig. So he is going to play. Oh, what's he doing? He thinks the idol's going to get played. So, yeah.
Yeah, the insurance policy is Myles versus the Kate thing, which honestly, smart plan if that was the case. Like, well done, you, Kaelan, being like, no, that way, either way, somebody we want goes home and it's not me. If he plays the idol in some funny way.
Kate tells AJ she's voting for Myles. And AJ's like, great, well then he's going to go. And I was like, okay. Because they think he's going to play it for Kate. Why? But it's the final 5. There's 5 people left. Why would anyone
play it for another person?
I'm sorry. Like,
I get if this was a few votes earlier because Myles has been really good and he can play it for other people, but there's just simply no way at that point, even if it was somebody that you knew, like they were all going on your one person that you didn't, I would still be like, I will be playing this for me because I don't know.
But I think they thought, because he loves the showmanship of it all, that he was going to do something that looked really complex, but I still don't think anyone's that dumb. And
that it would have been a good, that's another little thing for his resume, like look what he did, I guess. But again, he's smarter than that because he could have done anything like that. But
you're not going to risk it. Like, he's done some risky stuff to this point, but like now's not the time for that. It's 1 week before.
And if he was really unsure about the AJ thing, then he could have done it on Kate to help his trying to blindside. But he's like, not. Yeah, he's smart.
And then Zara figures out that with everyone voting for someone else, her vote could be the decider. She can bloody well pick who's going home.
It could have been.
If there wasn't an idol, AJ sits Myles down and he's so patronising. He's like, look, I know you're you.
Oh.
When he said, I know you're you, I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah. The arrogance is unmatched. I can't. Ugh, he just thinks... Anyway.
He goes, can you please just play your idol for you so it's simple? Like, if someone asked me to do that, I'd almost want to not do it.
Especially if AJ asked me to do that.
That's what he was trying to do, right? Yeah. Or something. Like, was it a bit of reverse psychology or something? Like, you just do that for me so I know what you're doing. Yeah. I don't know. And then Myles gets emotional. And this is when I was like, win edit. Because it's like, we haven't really seen this sort of shade from Myles before.
Yeah.
So it was like, because he's always being silly. And then it was like, he got emotional. Because he's like, I don't want to have to backstab someone, but also
I have to win.
Yeah.
And that I understand that, sure, in this particular point of the game, that would be pretty difficult. We saw that in terms of like Kate and Morgan, but I don't know. You just have to be like, okay, well, it'll be all like it'll be worth it when I have $500,000 in the bank. So
yeah, I just don't know if I've seen a genuine friendship between Myles and AJ. I know they're like working together.
I agree.
It feels gamey. It doesn't feel like, it's not like Kate and Morgan or like, I don't know, Paulie
true.
and Noons, like where you're like, these are like
They're
iconic
friends,
duos.
and they're going to be friends outside.
Yeah,
like
well, it looks like from socials that they are or something, but I don't know.
But I know what you mean. They haven't really had that bonding, or at least they haven't showed that level of bonding.
So I was shocked when Myles got emotional, but I think it's bigger than just that. I think he's just like, wow, this was my dream. I'm here.
Yeah,
Now I get to
absolutely.
sing. I think he underestimated the social side of it.
And he's doing so well.
I know. But then he's like taking out AJ's possibly a 500k move.
Absolutely, man.
At Tribal, this is the bit when JLP has to awkwardly address that Morgan is no longer with us because she, quote, decided to go home.
Okay, and then it's just so bloody just straight into it. Which I guess how else can you do it?
Yeah,
if you're not allowed to say anything. But
yeah, they must get briefed off camera, right, so they don't audibly gasp and stuff.
Yeah, because they didn't
know.
really.
They were all just like,
been like,
They would have been told like, we're gonna say that and don't you dare smirk.
Which also gives the impression that it was a situation that quite a few people knew about.
Issue.
Yeah, versus it just being somebody that decided to go home. Because then they might have just been like, oh, well, they could have lied and been like, she had to get back to her family or something. I don't know.
Yeah. JLP asks about resumes and pathways. It's sounding like some sort of career counselor.
Yeah.
Now it's just a pathway.
Or just one of
It's a
those.
resume.
What are they called? Those companies that like the recruiters.
Recruitment.
Yeah. Like
yes. It's like a recruitment office.
What are the sort of pathways you're looking at?
Can I interest you in this pathway?
Yeah.
We'll need to see your resume.
Let's see what's on the resume. That pathway is not going to work for you. Yeah.
Totally that. That'll be next season. I'm like, as a recruiter, I've got the perfect skills in resume building.
That'll be in somebody's speech. Like, just call me a recruiter.
Well, it was Ferris who worked in HR.
Oh, he did too.
Yeah,
That's right.
I didn't remember every now and then he'd be like, this is a HR conversation. And I was like, actually true, because you're really good at just like bullshitting people. But anyway.
Literally, which is what HR
What
does.
HR
Yeah.
Oh, Myles says the numbers are about to get awkward. And I was like, yes, there's 5 of you left. But particularly with the 4 that are voting together, the so-called postgrads.
He had a good poker face in this tribal as well.
He did a great job because you could tell he's so tempted to be like, oh, I'm going to do a big move, JLP. I'm going to get a job. But he's just like, no, we're...
After this the numbers will be awkward. I'm like, well done.
It's like, this vote's really straightforward. But next week, but no.
Yeah.
Next week's gonna be good because AJ's on one.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
We see them all
vote.
I
want Myles to win. Anyway,
same. So we see them all vote except Zara's so-called deciding vote because so Myles votes for AJ, which throws that off. Kaelan votes for Myles. AJ votes for Kate.
Kate votes for
Kaelan.
Kaelan.
Yeah,
because it's 1 vote each, right?
Yeah,
it's like 1-1-1-1.
It's 1-1-1-1. Yeah,
which is wild.
It's like a square.
Final 5. That is insane.
So crazy. Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Then Myles, but it says a lot about this season.
Yeah.
And just kind of how the strategy's been going.
True.
Myles plays the idol for himself. I was like, good girl, clever girl. And sadly, with a slut drop on the torch first, DJ Kate.
It was worth it for the slut drop.
And it's like, Zara, really? Are you so hell-bent on just doing the predictable thing? I really hate her.
I was actually really pissed off. I was like that's a dumb move. Like, I just I don't think you have a great chance of winning anyway.
Why
but
would you want AJ
voting
around?
AJ off would have been a little something more to make your resume a bit better. A little. Like, she's insane. And also just putting yourself in a situation. I mean,
Kaelan.
I think in any situation, like putting yourself in a situation where you are now 3 males to 1 female. Like, at the very least, going in, you could have been 2-2.
Exactly.
Yeah, Kate's your like.
I just can't believe they all forgot about the Kaelan thing.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Outrageous. And I think that even if Kate is your biggest competitor for endurance, sure.
Because we all know that's going to be the last one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It always is.
But even like leading up to that, I guess, you've got Kate, who literally has no one and nothing. You would expect her to throw you a bone if you saved her and brought her to the fight, because you have to be like, we have to be a girls versus guys thing now, number one. And also number two, like, even if she could beat you, I don't know. I just feel like you probably have still votes on the jury. Not anymore, but I don't know.
And then how awkward AJ turns to Myles and goes, hang on, who did you vote for?
Oh, God.
Myles is like, you.
You, with a smile.
You. Yeah, you. And AJ's like, what? Why? So awkward.
It was so awkward. But also Myles is like, little chaotic face being like, wasn't that fun?
Yeah.
Because also you would just be like, you just know his heart would have sank. Because you'd just be like, Zara, you've ruined your own game.
And then JLP cleverly is like, next week's going to be awkward. And I was like, thank you.
And Kaelan's
mate.
like, ooh, a little snake or something to
But this is the double standard. It's like, ooh, what a rat. From the start, they've been like, what a little rat. What a little backstabber.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. Is playing the game as you all are. You're just like excluding him. It just feels really not nice.
No, there's two things that I hate with it. One is that you've been in different situations to Myles.
Yes.
Myles has
The
been on
dynamics
the
are different.
bottom and has been on this tribe and really had nobody. So that is his only way of playing and surviving.
I just think the game is fair, and you just have to be like, fair game. Like, getting shitty like that, really, you just have to roll with it.
Because what do you want the game for? And then the other
no one owes you shit.
Yeah, the other thing that I hated with it from the very start, like now I know he refers to himself as the jungle rat.
Yeah,
which is great, but at the start I hated it. Yeah, because it's that whole
coded. Yeah,
it's the whole, like, I think it was great a few seasons ago when Benjamin Law was on it, and he talked about it because they immediately were like, he's a snake, and you were like, why?
Wow. What?
And he made like this whole,
like,
he wrote an
sneaky,
article.
Shifty.
Yeah, they're like, that's just a stereotype that people, like Asian men and women have like just endured. And I felt very the same with them being like, oh, I just don't.
Little sneaky rat.
Yeah, and they would just be like, I just don't like him. Okay,
and Paulie
why?
as well. They were like,
that was. I also
they were
didn't
like,
get that.
what a snake all says, like literally the only like gay person out here, and you're all just gonna be like, he's really like sassy and shady and conniving. It's like, okay, like,
and I also
you can't pretend these things don't play into it, because they fucking do.
Exactly.
And I'm watching it at home and I'm like, this is insane.
The Paulie thing was also wild because I couldn't recall.
Yeah.
And I still can't now. And I've watched the whole season, but every episode I'd be like, wait, why is he a snake? Like, what?
They never showed it. And
it was never like some huge thing that he did where
he's playing the fucking game.
Yeah.
It's a snake. The game is Snake.
Exactly.
Guys.
And
sorry.
I was just like, okay, you're just really pinning. And he was just always on the bottom, and they treated him so badly in those points. And I was just
it's like
okay.
white heteronormative culture being pervasive and being like, we're the mainstream. If you go against that, there's something untrustworthy about you. It's literally that playing out on our screens.
Literally.
That's
Whereas
what I saw
if
this season.
AJ is doing something.
Yeah.
You can be like, oh, AJ just loves to change the
he's
plans
entitled.
last minute.
He's entitled to do whatever he wants. And when he does it, he sees it and expects everyone to see it as genius play.
Correct.
It's fucking infuriating.
And people around him just go, oh, he's just being a bit fun and chaotic, but he's never called,
he's never going home.
Yeah, he's never been called snake or
rules.
rat or anything like that, because he's just a white man that is doing the same thing. Yeah, it pisses me off. And so I'm glad for Myles in the sense that he seems to have reclaimed his status, but in saying the name of jungle rat, so to speak, but in saying that,
he has been a good sport with that. And he's made merch and stuff, which I'm like, great.
Yeah, fucking monetize that, bro. Are you kidding?
Totally.
And then also
have your moment.
Just own it, and I hope you own it to the end, because that to me was just, he doesn't owe anybody anything. So
we're getting there. Like, it's still way better than like it was seasons ago, where this vibe was really aggressive. I feel like it's there, but it's covert. I feel like it's just kind of a lot of...
See, it felt like that as well, also way back in, like, I hated Kent. Oh, yeah. And that was like a thing. He just straight up was like,
I'm going for that guy.
I don't like him. He's sneaky
and weak,
and
like
I don't... He's like, I just don't like him. Okay, why?
Yeah.
At
Let's
least be
unpack
like,
that.
he's annoying, or like say that, but he'll just be like, I just don't like him. I just don't trust him. I'm like, okay, well, that's just a stereotype that you are just showing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not talk about that
That
insufferable
guy
vlog.
got voted. That guy got voted out right away.
But yeah,
and
so
Myles is likely going to win.
King Myles. I've liked you from the start. I loved. I mean,
good.
it was an old episode, but I will say that I did love how good he was at soccer, how counted out he was, how he said, I would love to do this.
That. The golden foot baby, the
just incredible
music they put on him.
The kind of, this kind of entertaining music. Yeah.
But now I'm like, all of that is telling me that Myles is going to win.
Yeah.
I would also be very happy with a Kaelan win, but I tell you what, if AJ fucking wins this
I will
season,
be actually
we
really...
riot.
We
riot at midnight.
Don't... I would just be like, what has the last 3 months been for? Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
4 months? I just feel like I would have been like, I could have just
I'm
not...
going to need you to check in if that happens, because I'm not going to be okay.
I just will be like, cool. So that's 29 years of my life that I can't get back because AJ won. God.
I do need to give a special honourable mention / shout out to the doctor at Drew Villa. So when they finish, they go straight to this doctor.
Oh, yeah.
And on Kate's episode, he's like, oh, Kate, I didn't expect to see you here. And I'm like, okay, calm down, fangirl. Like, are you watching the show?
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't aired yet. Are you just like, what? Is the doctor just like
Maybe
there while they're filming?
And just watching the the dailies?
He's like, ooh. He's like getting involved with the strat. I'm like,
look at
put
him.
the doctor on next season. Or do like a goggle box thing.
I'm going to go home and watch all the
You'll love it. He's like, oh,
Drew
Kate. What? He's like all upset that his fave has been kicked out. I'm like, come on.
Maybe it's
Doc.
because of what he hears from everyone else coming to Drew Villa, and he's like, Kate's my pick to win, or something.
Yeah,
I don't
true.
know.
And of course, she's all like, oh my God, I'm hot. She's like, I'm like tanned and skinny. And I was like, get it. The real reason she went out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like, so fun. Like, my hair's
I want to get a tapeworm.
Yeah. A tapeworm.
Oh, God. Well,
so good.
We did it.
We did it.
Thank you so
1
much,
week left.
Rachel. 1 week left.
Very
I mean, obviously,
excited.
we're all aggressively Team Myles.
Yeah. Nothing. Few that I wouldn't hate, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't love, if I'm honest.
Honestly, the gaggery of Zara winning would also be quite fun.
I don't
There's
know if
stuff
I'd
that
go as
happen.
far as fun, but you know, Kaelan,
Maybe
I
she
feel
can
like
become the president
as well, because I love. Yeah, maybe that's all it takes. I think as well, I did love like Kaelan actually being good at puzzles. Like that was such a gag me moment of like, can you not tell them I'm good at puzzles?
That was one of the best moments of the season.
Absolutely.
JLP, don't tell him.
Don't tell him
Don't
I'm
tell
good
him
at puzzles.
that I'm good.
And also JLP agreeing. I was like, slay king. Like, you know, Jeff Probst could never. He would have
Jeff
been
Probst
like,
is so serious. Oh my God.
so serious. Like a JLP was like, Kaelan's still working on that puzzle and
my
just,
God.
you know, showing all these
Jeff
things.
Probst, mate, I need to say, so I'm begrudgingly watching season 48, which is so shit. But
Is it?
I'm watching it because I've watched every season and I'm not stopping now. And we're coming up to 50, so I'm like, we're doing it. But he made I have this theory that, because Jeff hates JLP, right? Because, of course. But I have this theory that other people at CBS are watching Australian Survivor to try and get the secret formula.
Fair.
And they're like trying to get Jeff to be a bit more funny with the chat. And he made this joke in a challenge. Because you know how JLP's always, you know, with the innuendo. And it's so good, but it's cheeky and it's
Release
great.
that nutsack.
He tried to do that with a ball joke. And it was, I'm not joking, like, I like... my body froze.
I want to sink into the couch. I haven't even heard it.
He was like, what did he say? It was like 2 of those balls in that sack or something, just like in real life. And I was like, sorry, mister. It was something like that. And it was like grandpa trying to make a funny joke, but it didn't land. But the conviction was like not humorous. I died.
Just off.
I was
TV off.
I was like, I don't think I can
Guess
do
we'll
it.
find out what happens next week.
Because I've got it on in the background. It's like I'll be like folding laundry or some shit.
I follow the tweets or blue sky of it, to be honest, but I don't watch it.
There's actually some good... They cast it really well. I really like the cast. Just for some reason, it doesn't work as a show for me. There's too many little things going on, and I don't care.
And I do see some bits and pieces on TikTok, which is helpful. Like I saw a little bit of the girl with autism. Yeah. And like the friendship with that guy, that daddy, and just very. So I see things like that, but I think that. Yeah, I can see why they'd be really interested in Aussie Survivor, because even the biggest Survivor fans online are like
living for
over here. They're like, this is what I'm watching for.
But that was give it up, Jeff. Anyway,
but we've got season 50, and we've got
that'll be great.
Australia vs. the World.
Australia vs. the World is probably more exciting than 50. Let's be honest.
1,000%. I'm so excited for Australia vs. the World. It's giving Drag Race. UK
especially
versus
with
the
like
world.
Pav and
David,
like
it's gonna be so fun.
Shawnee, King George,
love Shawnee so much.
Anyway,
yay.
well,
thank you.
I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.